Hey, David. Good evening here, and to you. Good to see you again. Well, if you're in Louisiana, stay safe. It's already hit here. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say hit. The rain has already started here, where I'm at. But we're not in the path this time, thankfully. Took a much bigger right turn this time, which, honestly, everyone should have expected, because the last hurricane we had took a big right turn to end up hitting us when it was going to hit Mexico originally. So doesn't surprise me that this one did too. But yeah, certainly stay safe if you're going to be in the affected areas for it. Yeah, like I say, I'm still working off this backlog of nat ones that I've been rolling in my life here. but yeah, this was. I mean, I don't wish ill on anybody else, but I was certainly glad for us to get a break from this this time. But I mean, Louisiana is, you know, much more flood prone than where I'm at, so Alabama and Mississippi, I certainly you know, wish them well over there. But yeah, y'all should be getting some rain over there. That's the dirty side of the hurricane there, so yeah, y'all should definitely be getting some rain. I think they forecasted most of Alabama is going to be between 1 to 3 inches, with parts that are going to be locally higher than that, so hope everything is okay though. Yeah, that's the same for us at this time of year normally. If we don't get hurricanes then or tropical storms, then yeah, most of Texas is in a drought through the summer. That's been one of the things that's been, lucky in that regard. So if you're going to look for a small silver lining amongst all the property damage and flooding and everything else, it's that we certainly got our water back, so. But yeah, temperatures have started going down slightly, so instead of the upper 90s all the time, we're down in the lower 90s now, and I expect the temperatures are going to keep falling and the rain to keep coming in for the next couple of months until the end of November, and then temperatures will have really fallen off, but we don't get a whole lot of rain during the winter. Yeah, and that does make sense as things start to cool off and you get that cool air mixing with the warm, humid air coming off the Gulf. Yeah, it certainly makes sense that November and December you're going to start spawning more of those. I grew up in Tornado Alley, so I moved down here in part to get away from all of that. I prefer to see my weather systems coming, so I prefer to see my natural disasters a little bit out so I can prep for them. And being caught in a couple of tornadoes when I was younger, it's a very harrowing experience. If you get any warning at all, it's barely time to do anything but just save yourself, and it's hard with pets and children and family being so mobile these days that it's hard to make sure everybody's safe. So I certainly don't miss those. We don't get them down here. It's normally too warm to spawn them. But we do get occasions where, like during the hurricanes and that sort of stuff, tropical storms, where it cools things off enough that the moist, humid air just gets whipped out to sea, and it's not warm enough to keep them from spawning. So we do get things like that that bring a couple out, but for the most part, thankfully we don't get them here. Yeah, that was the benefit of living in Tornado Alley. It's flat as a pancake up there. So, but yeah, still having things spawn right on top of you, and yeah, too many memories of that from my childhood. Welcome, everyone, to today's live stream, episode number 58 of our Baldur's Gate 3 Bard gameplay series. I'm Commander Jorval, and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today. So, on a couple of admin notes, we are getting some fairly decent rain and stuff like that here, so hopefully they did everything to get my internet fully repaired, which they were doing over the weekend, which is why there was no Paladin live stream on Sunday, because it was out most of the day while they were working to repair it. Hopefully everything is waterproofed and installed correctly and we won't have any issues, but again, we'll keep an eye on it and see. As for a channel admin note, I might be getting a channel manager here coming up within the next couple of months. This is something that I've kind of been running into lately. Like I say, there's a lot of administrative stuff that happens in the background when your channel gets large enough to have access to certain perks. And one of those is channel memberships, and that is something that I'm very interested in exploring for all of you, and seeing if I can come up with a basic outline for how that might work and what perks members to the channel might receive and that sort of stuff. All of that is all of those discussions will kind of take place when I go to a boot camp is what they call it, but basically a learning seminar to learn about all of those back-end ways to help the community out on your channel. So I'm kind of anxious to see if that all pans out, and if it does, hopefully we will see some good changes coming in for all of you. I would love to be able to do things, like member-only additional videos and that sort of stuff for people to have access to. Live stream Q&A type things for members that then go live, a few weeks later for non-members and that sort of stuff. But a lot of things that I'm anxious to try out. So going to keep an eye on that. I will keep all of you apprised as that kind of pans out, and we'll see how it goes. The last channel thing is kind of about the future here of these two live streams, the Paladin live stream and the Bard live stream. I have decided that once they end, I'm going to take probably a 4-week break from the Wednesday or the Sunday and or Wednesday live streams. Right now, the NFL football season has started again here in the United States, and normally when that happens, I take my Sunday live stream and I shift it into Saturday afternoon. This will give me a good opportunity to take a break for a little bit, devote some time to football and focus just on the honor mode live stream, but then also take some time to gather feedback and find out what we want to do for a replacement live stream. Keep in mind that Dragon Age Veilguard releases October 31st, so about 6 weeks, give or take, from now. So I kind of want to see maybe if that 4 weeks off kind of coincides with Dragon Age Veilguard and I can get a few days of playing it to see if it's suitable for me to live stream it, and if it is, then maybe that would take over as the Saturday afternoon live stream. We will kind of play that by ear, but I'm still going to put up a poll once these two live streams end, so that during that 4-week break or so, we can get some input from all of you on what games you would be interested in seeing me play, and kind of decide what we want to do from there. So, but yeah, we'll kind of take a look at it once we get closer to that point, because these two live streams are very quickly coming to an end. And if it's not next week, it is definitely the week after that that they will be coming to an end, and we will be left with the honor mode playthrough on Saturday. So we'll put out some more information on the community tab and social media, explaining kind of what's going on as we get through the end of these live streams, and we'll kind of see what y'all want to do. So I think that's it on admin notes. Obviously, I guess one last recap on admin notes. Patch 7 obviously is out. We haven't seen the community post yet about the future of the modding, or the mod manager, and how all that's going to work. So we talked about patch 7 in the honor mode playthrough introduction, and we're not going to go through it again here today. We want to get into the action here rather than spending 15 minutes talking about it. But once we get a community post about the mod manager and modding in general, then I will explore more of that when we get to that point. So on our recap, at the end of last week's episode, we had finished up everything in the Ramesses Tower and Sorcerer's Sundries. We had Gale talk to Mystra, and we had taken a long rest and then buffed everybody up, went into the statue, Gale talked to Mystra, and then we ended things. Off stream, I went in and did a few things, and let's go ahead and jump in here and we'll talk about that real quick. Hey, Solo, welcome. Yeah, that's, like I say, there's a lot of hours there. Oh, I'm happy that you're doing an honor mode playthrough. That's cool. It's really, really fun to do. There are some really good hints in the playthroughs that I give to get you some really powerful items early on. So hope you can check those out. And yeah, I'm anxious for Dragon Age 2. I always liked it, even though some of the reviews and the later ones were bad. But I'm anxious to see it, so we'll take a look at it. So off stream, as I mentioned, I did inventory cleanup. Cleared everything out that I didn't need, and I did one other thing, and that I moved out here to Sharessa's Caress. The reason that I'm doing this is because we're going to immediately head into the House of Hope. When we are leaving the House of Hope, we're going to have obviously the big conflict with Raphael. Yurgir is going to be there, and we are going to be presented with an option to make a persuasion check against him to try and convince him to fight with us. And I would actually want to try my best in this one, because we have the best chance of doing it with a bard, to try and make that check. But to do that, I'm also going to gain an additional buff here. We've talked about this buff briefly before, but we're going to step here into the room here. Remember, we got the key from the proprietor downstairs when we found out what had happened to her missing employee. So we're going to go in here and talk to Nursa here.
Don't waste a step.
To try.
Tell me, am I beautiful?
More than beautiful. You are the aurora stretched across the north skies. You are the golden dunes swept across the Kalim. You are the fruit of the forbidden palm, soft on my skin, sweet on my tongue. You are my sin and salvation.
parasite stirs, and you gaze at the nymph through the flaming fist's hungry eyes. Your muscles shiver with her longing. Your skin burns with her heat.
What's wrong, Jara?
What are you? Wait. I know you.
I don't understand. What?
Your face. The Absolute has shown me.
Jara, what's going on? Who's this woman?
Your head screams in agony. Change has come. Pustules boiling beneath your skin, your bones twisting, your flesh rupturing. And suddenly, silence.
What's happening?
Okay, and this leads us into combat here with a newborn mind flayer. Fist Jara has become a mind flayer, and it's a newborn mind flayer, but it still has a lot of the abilities of a full-blown mind flayer. So we definitely don't want to take this lightly. The good thing about them is that they normally roll pretty poorly on initiative, so you're gonna do fairly well on your attacks against it, and it's fairly rare that they should even get an attack roll in here. So fairly straightforward fight. And hey, Big Boss, welcome back. Yeah, we are still going, but quickly, very quickly coming to an end here. Probably only a couple of weeks left before we're done. So we're gonna go ahead and have our combat here. So first, let's go ahead with the.
Let's finish this.
We need to finish off 2 turns here with Shadowheart and the Bard before any of the ghouls are allowed to go, I think. Yeah. The ghouls act a little bit differently as followers in that even though they're before the Mind Flayer in their order, since they are followers of Shadowheart, we have to finish Shadowheart's turn before they are allowed to move.
What now?
So we're gonna move in here and just get our attacks done with our first 2 characters. But first, let's move in with Shadowheart. Okay, I don't think we're going to do that. Just because I can't remember if it's AoE and it damages everybody around. I don't want Nursa here to be damaged by any of that.
I won't give in. And again, I'm trying not to use any action economy here. Okay, and now our ghouls are going to get to go. So he had to dash to get there, which was unfortunate. He didn't get a chance to attack. So I guess we'll just finish him off.
One day I'll catch a break.
We're not going to smite.
again. We don't want to use any of our action economy here.
If not over, then through.
Okay, now before we
A long way
talk
go
to
still.
her, and
Have a lot on my mind. And, well, in it.
did I get rid of the warped headband of intellect? I must have left it in my camp. Well, we'll go ahead and have the conversation anyway.
Hells. I'd heard tales of mind flayers. Talons sharp as daggers, and tentacles yet more fearsome. But no tale did justice to its ethereal beauty. It floats like a butterfly. Its blood shimmers like silver. How could I help it? I don't regret its death, but I marvel that such a work of art could ever live.
Her gaze intensifies. Your breath quickens and your heart skips a beat. The woman's senses are heightened and her fire stoked. The mind flayer is no mere curiosity, but an object of desire.
So the insight check opens up some more dialogue options, specifically this first one here.
Why should I deny it? My urge is as natural as the grape upon the vine. But perhaps there are other flavors that might satisfy my palate. Rapture. Close your eyes and listen.
You see only darkness. Her voice shines through it, warmer than the sun, yet cooler than night.
The all-being. Here, there is no suffering. Here, you want for nothing. Here, you are anything. You have one word. Tell me, what will you be? You are more than contented. You are at total peace. Your belly is full, your mind rested, your eyes bright. No more will you hear the clang of steel on steel. No more will you fear the cry of a wolf, the growl of an ogre. You are warm. You are safe.
Your flesh shivers, your heart bursts. True ecstasy for one fleeting moment.
Open your eyes. I'll remember you, and you'll remember me.
Okay, so you're going to get an inspiration here for that, but more importantly, you gain the Rapture buff. Now this lasts until your next long rest, so you do this right before you head into the House of Hope. And while you're in there, don't use the restoration fountains, which simulate a long rest. So be careful with your action economy while you're in there, so that you can keep this buff, because you won't need this until the very last confrontation with Raphael. So you don't want to go in there and lose this before you have the conversation where this is going to come in handy. So we're going to keep this now as a 1d6 bonus to attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws. Now the attack rolls and saving throw bonus is obviously really good. A 1d6 bonus to any of those is fairly unheard of. Most of them are 1d4. However, the ability check bonus is what we're really taking this for. you can only get a 1d6 bonus to those attack rolls and stuff like that if you are using Bardic Inspiration, and you have either a higher level version of it, give you 1d6 or 1d8, or 1d10, to give you a bonus this big. So having it until our next long rest is certainly going to be useful for
Another
us.
step forward.
So there are other things that you can look at in here. The Coronation Admission Pass is here. If you come here right off the bat, you can pick up the Admission Pass, which will give you access to Worms Rock Fortress through the bridge. This is one of the 3 ways to get in there. We obviously don't need any of that, but there are other things in here that you can search and that you can take. Some gold and all that sort of stuff in here. We obviously don't need any of it. So we are now going to head to the Lower City Central Wall. And the lower city, as always, normally takes a bit longer to load. It's a lot shorter for me. I have a fairly high-end PC, but still, it's going to take a little bit longer to load, so just be patient with it.
Light on my feet.
We're going to come up here to the Devil's Fee.
You go in first, it was your idea.
We have already talked to Helsik, gotten the stuff that we need to open the portal, so we're just going to head straight upstairs.
That's curious.
Okay, and we don't need to deal with the trap up here. Normally there's a ward on the ground, but if you have convinced Helsik to let you have access to this room, then you can just walk up here. If the ward is here, if you're trying to break into this room, the door will be red and there will be a ward here on the ground. If you talk to the skull on the wall and you give it either a water or a wine of some sort, then it will disable the ward on the ground. We are allowed up here using Helsik's key.
I strongly suggest
And we can do some thieving and that sort of stuff.
whatever you expect to gain from the Hells is not worth the risk of traveling there uninvited.
Okay, so we should have a bag which has all of the materials that we need right here. The ritual pouch. Okay, so we're gonna go into top-down view for this, and we'll break our group.
I wonder what the next move is.
And we will send all of these
No time to rest.
to my bard. Now you can read the paper here and it will tell you exactly where to put each of the items that you have been given. We're going to kind of move here into the center. So you place a skull here, and once you do it correctly, it will flash with a flame like that. That lets you know it's in the right spot. The coin goes here. Then you skip one, And you place the diamond here. Then the incense goes here. Now we're going to step off the middle, and the infernal marble goes here.
Devil's offer, but there is no reason to provoke him by invading his home.
Okay, and now we are ready to venture into the House of Hope. Now, two things. One, if you remember the Paladin playthrough, I had played this differently, and we already had the Orphic Hammer, and we went in there, and I had forgotten to bring it with me. So I reloaded a previous save. You actually don't have to do that. You can use the portal and go back and forth from the House of Hope as often as you want, as long as you have not triggered the alarm. We'll talk about triggering the alarm here in a little bit, but as long as you haven't triggered the alarm, you can leave the House of Hope through the portal and come right back here. You cannot fast travel out of the House of Hope, but you can leave up until that particular point. So what we're going to do before we go in is head to camp, because we do not need to pick up the Orphic Hammer because we don't have it. We did not make a deal with the devil, so he did not give us the Orphic Hammer. The Orphic Hammer is inside the House of Hope now. So instead of getting our contract from the House of Hope, we're going to be getting the Orphic Hammer itself. So we don't need to take any particular items in. However, I am going to pick up some things to take with me. Okay, now here we're going to take all of these smoke powder barrels that we can. Okay, so we don't have as many. We have 10 for this, and I normally like at least 12, just from a safety perspective. I think you can probably do it with 8, but I don't normally like to chance it. Here, I think I probably am going to be okay. With 8, I'm going to be able to, or with 10, I think I might end up with 1 of the pillars still standing, but I'm not going to be causing any damage to Raphael, and we'll kind of talk about that a little more. Now, I could take the rune powder bomb in there and just blow up the entire world when I'm in there, but again, I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to localize my damage a little bit. I could take, I probably also have a rune powder bomb or vial in here somewhere. I could probably also take that with me to head into here, but again, I'm trying to play this one a little different than what we had seen in the Bard playthrough. So I don't think I have any more. I don't. Okay. So now that we're stocked up, we are severely overloaded on carrying capacity, but we don't care. Because we are right here by the portal. So we are going to drop a save before you head in. It's always a good idea. But like I say, you can fast travel back and forth through the portal. Okay. So here, just to orient ourselves a little bit. Here inside the foyer, once we get close to the door, we're going to spawn a conversation with somebody. We can still head out of the portal anytime we want, but we're restricted on fast travel, so you cannot fast travel. You can't click on the portal to get out of here. There are 4 soul pillars around the outside, 2 on each side. The soul pillars come into
Very well.
effect
Hear the Emperor.
at the very final fight. And during that, you want to make sure that you're able to take them out as quickly as you can. And you can see that
Something's wrong here. Devilish magic of some kind.
and to do it, the portals, I'm trying to see if I know, because it's been a while since I looked through it. I can't remember how many hit points the portals have, but for instance, the smoke powder does 22 to 34, and the 34 number, if you did 34 twice, I think that's enough to kill a pillar on balanced mode. Tactician and honor mode, it's certainly not. But the chances you're going to roll, but the 22, the minimum damage you can get out of it, won't kill it if you get 22 twice. So you're taking a chance with 2 of them at each portal, and that's why I normally place 3. Now, normally I like to have a few more, because Raphael spawns right here, right at the top of this point. He spawns right there, so you can pre-position smoke powder barrels around that spot. Yurgir spawns right back here, and Korilla spawns right back here, and those smoke powder bombs will kill both of them outright if you have 3 of them placed around him, and it will severely damage him as well. I'm trying to not do that because I want to try and persuade Yurgir, so I don't want to kill him after I've persuaded him. And I'm going to place these so that if I shoot 1 or hit 1, it triggers all 3 of them. And I'm not going to do my normal placement of putting them around where Raphael spawns, because the blast radius is just too big.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times.
No one back home will ever believe this.
Still alive. So that's
Okay, now
progress.
Kurz, there's only 2 left. So I have some options here. I've put 2 here on this one. I'm going to put the last 2 over here on this
Find a
one.
way forward.
I could put the 3rd one over here and guarantee that I'm going to be able to kill this one. But I think I'm going to take my chances with 2 and 2. Could come back to bite me, but we'll see. And that gets my carry weight down to normal. So now I am free to exit the room. Now, there are various things that you can look at in here. There are some guest books and some plaques and that sort of stuff
With haste.
that you can read, but we're going to trigger a conversation first.
You came. Such a shame. Curiosity killed all the cats. It won't be so kind to you.
As the woman speaks, you hear a distant rattle of chains, and she winces in pain.
The jailer will hear us. I shouldn't be talking to you. I must go. It's not kind to me.
The figure flickers and starts to dim from view, but you sense she could be convinced to return. The figure shimmers brightly, Your words seem to have piqued her curiosity.
Who am I? Oh, it's my favorite question. I scream it into the dark while I sleep, and whisper it to my memories when I wake. I'm the thing that kills you, and the only reason you're alive. Made by a promise, undone by the truth. A handshake, a hug, the first beat of a newborn's heart. I am hope. What little is left of her. A guttering candle in a universe of night. I'm not much of a friend to anyone anymore. But I could use a friend myself. Do you want a friend to guide you through this madhouse? I hear the jailer. It hears me. It'll call Raphael, make every question count. Make some of them count twice. Discovered an ancient gift, prince, in need of a savior. The Orphic hammer is the perfect tool for breaking all infernal chains. Hope can help. The hammer is here in this house. It's...
You hear a sound like the rattle of a chain, and an agonizing scream in your head as hope flickers from view momentarily.
Shh. Quiet. There it goes. Everyone here is mad. Even you, especially me. And that makes them dangerous, but it also makes them stupid. I'll make you seem as ruined as the rest of the people here. A simple glamour to make you a terrible wretch. Now whisper your questions, little wretch, but really quiet and very clever. Concentrate.
We do have a bard performance option here, and you can see we're getting the 1d6 from Rapture. That's going to be our best option here. I rolled a 3 and got a 20 at the end of that because I rolled a 6 on Rapture. You can see how powerful that is.
Remember, quiet as a mouse. The same place you'll find your sorry little soul when Raphael rips it out. In the archive, down the corridor, past the debtor. Oh, the debtors. They won't like you. But I like you. I know I do. I think I do. I hope I do. I just need to ask one question, and I'll know for sure. Can you save me? Please, 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 please. You don't even know how. All right. You have to listen very, very, very closely. I will say this only once. Find the key, take the hammer, smash my chains. Find the key, take the hammer, smash my chains. Find the key, take the hammer, smash my chains. But be careful when you take the hammer. The fire will come, and Raphael, you must run, 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 run. But don't forget me. Please, please, please. I don't want to burn. Not again.
The rattle of chains echoes louder from unseen places, and without a scream or a sigh, hope disappears.
Okay, so a couple of things have happened. First, we all have this indebted disguise on us. The debtors, and you'll see them as we wander around, if you take this disguise off, which is a piece of clothing, if you take it off and you are seen, then the House of Hope will become hostile. So that will raise the alarm, and things will turn badly really quickly. Other ways to raise the alarm. If you attack any of the debtors, you're going to raise the alarm. If you free Hope, you're going to raise the alarm. Now, Hope gave you an order there. Find the key, get the hammer, break the chains. Okay, that's the order to do this in. The key that she's talking about is the key to the room in which the Orphic hammer sits. The Orphic hammer is the hammer she wants you to get, and then break the chains is the way to free her, and you can only free her with the Orphic hammer. So going down and attempting to free her before you've done anything else is pointless. You're not going to be able to free her until you have the Orphic hammer. Once you take the Orphic hammer, or in the case of the Paladin playthrough, the Soul Sworn contract, because we already had the Orphic hammer, that will raise the alarm. Once you're inside the room with the Orphic hammer, if you do not disable the traps or the pressure plates under the amulet or the gauntlets, and you take them, that will set the alarm off of it as well. So those things you want to avoid. We're going to inevitably have to set the alarm off, but we want to do everything here in the House of Hope before we do that. So we're going to make our way in, and now the first room we encounter is that feast room that we saw way back in Act 1 with Raphael. His photo, or his paintings here on the wall, and you can see it's not the perfect, scrumptious little feast that was laid out as you thought. It was all an illusion on him. Okay. And there are various different people you can talk to in here. The Infernal Mason, for instance.
Another sorry soul come to wander these halls. What do you seek? Despite appearances, this whole house is more of a prison than a parlor. Most here have no choice but to remain. I am one such. This is not my home, but I can never leave. I was an architect in life, a builder of tombs and temples, but mostly of towers. My proudest work reached for the stars and sought to dry Seluna's tears. It was a monument to life and to virtue, and a happy home to my master for many years. A great general, a greater man, Ketheric Thorm. When tragedy came, my master fell into darkness and despair. He marshaled a great army to ruin the world and bring all into shadow. I could not let it happen. I sought out the devil, Raphael, and signed an infernal pact with him. He promised to destroy my master's army, and I promised him my soul in return. The devil was true to his word. Fiends slaughtered my master's forces, but he endured somehow and blighted the land. Then all came to pass as I had hoped, though a century too late for my family and friends. Your actions may have justified the price of my soul. I thank you. Tell me, what became of my pride? What became of Moonrise Towers? I did not think it possible. Thank you. My spirit smiles for the first time in a century. Now go. Finish your business here and leave while you can.
Okay, so an interesting little interlude with the person who designed and built Moonrise Towers that we obviously know what has happened with.
Stalking, walking, crawling.
Okay, so coming out this direction here, you start to see the debtors. You can talk to all of them. They don't have anything but normally one word or a couple of line conversations. But these are all people who have signed soul-sworn contracts with Raphael, and they are here until their contract is fulfilled. So these are the debtors. They all have detection cones, and if you are inside their detection cone without the debtor's garb on, again, it will set off the alarm. Here is the hatchway to the prison. We can't get in there yet. Well, we can, but there's no point in going down there yet. We're going to do this after we have raised the alarm. Hey, Jordan, welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. We're just getting started inside the House of Hope.
Over here! When is a door not a door? When it's a jam jar! You won't find a way out here. Or a way in. This is the chamber of egress. The portals here crisscross the plains, but they won't open to the likes of you and me. This is how Raphael consults with his clients so efficiently, no matter the time, no matter the place, and it's how he stalks his prey. Oh, there is. If you stare into the portals long enough, your mind starts to do cartwheels and tricks you into thinking you're falling into a horrible, yawning void. It's one of my favorite ways to pass the time. But you have no time to waste, or time will waste you. And what you need from the house is in the archive. Not here!
Okay, and in the room here, you can see these portals. Now, different characters in your party can click on the portals, and they all have unique voice dialogues that go along with them. For instance, if you have Minthara in your party, or if you're playing as a drow, clicking on the portal to Menzo Berenzin will give you some specific dialogue options. Gale with the portal to Waterdeep, etc., etc. So there are some interesting dialogues here, but nothing else. As Hope had said, there is nothing here that's going to take you out anywhere. This is not a way in or out for us. It's only going to work for Raphael.
Let's see.
So the next room here is actually a balcony. Now, the balcony has a couple of interesting things. First, there's a passageway down here. This passageway leads you into Hope's prison. This is another way to get in there rather than going in the front way. This is the way that we went in the Paladin playthrough. We're probably going to venture in through the main door, or through the main entrance once we are on this playthrough. But there's somewhere else that this allows you to get. If you follow these platforms all the way around, it can take you into the boudoir, which is where we're going to end up because we need to get access to the archive. We'll go quickly head down that way, and we'll kind of show you what we mean. So there is also... I can't remember what this is. I believe it's an Arcana check. Trying to look and see. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to go back through my notes here. And see. I don't want to waste too much time here, so if I can't find it, then I can't find it. Okay, yeah, it's a perception check and then an Arcana check. So I'm going to This one is nothing. This is just the inner balcony, I believe. Yes. So it just overlooks the feast hall and where you were. Nothing here, just again some plaques that you can read. Here is our first couple of things. So first you have the Mystic Force Curtain. This leads you into the boudoir. There are a couple of ways in here, like I said. One, you can drop the Force Curtain. To do that, you need an invitation. You can get the invitation from the archive down around the corner, or you can just use the platforms outside to jump your way into the other side of this room. Either one works, and going in there and doing what you need to do will not raise the alarm. Okay, so let me look at our character sheets real quick and just see what the perception checks are. I believe Shadowheart is going to have... Yeah. Shadowheart's got a +5 for her perception check. We can increase that with the Sentinel Shield to gain advantage on her perception checks. And guidance. So we need a perception check first.
Onward in her name. That might
Okay.
be worth a look.
So we found out about the inert infernal gem. Now we're going to need an Arcana check. And this Arcana check is pretty sporty. So Arcana, Gale obviously is the best person that we have to do this. So we're going to have Shadowheart cast guidance on Gale.
You need to pick me up.
Ready and willing. Onward.
And he now... Oh, I forgot we have the DC 10 wisdom check first. Okay, well we can still try this. It's only a DC 10, so we got, you know, a little better than a 50-50 shot here. Okay, so good. I forgot about that check. I should have had Shadowheart do that. But the next one is now the gem has lit up. It's a control gem. And now we need to activate it. And this is a DC 20 Arcana check. Okay, so we can add in a Bardic Inspiration. We can add advantage with Fox's Cunning on this. I'm just gonna, right now I've got a tiny bit better than a 50-50 shot for this. And we rolled well. And that's going to open up this secret room here. Now, in here, a couple of things. The Staff of Spell Power, and you can just take these. These are not stealing.
This will come in handy.
Now, the Staff of Spell Power is a poor man's Marco Heshkir. You can see it has all of the same base enchantments. So it's got a +1 to spell save, DC, and attack rolls. It's got Arcane Battery. It's a weapon enchantment +2. However, it's missing Koreska's Favor, which is a big deal for Marco Heshkir. So, like I say, a poor man's version of Marco Heshkir. But if you've come here early and you haven't gone to Sorcerer's Sundries yet, then, you know, it's certainly something useful. And speaking of Koreska's Favor, we need to activate that on Gale with Cold. Forgot I hadn't activated that. So I'm resistant to cold damage. My cold spells deal additional cold damage, and it also inflicts 1 turn of frost whenever I deal cold damage, which again, stacking that up is nice. On the opposite side of the room
What to do?
is Mull's contract. Now, we learned that Mull made a contract with Raphael, And now we can give that back to Mole and break that contract. And the last thing here are the treasure crates, and in here you're going to get the Helldusk helmet. This is part of the Helldusk set. It comes with Infernal Sight, so you can see in magical and ordinary darkness up to a range of 12 meters. You cannot be blinded. So this works perfect if you're fighting in darkness. It's a helmet that gives you that ability as opposed to the Twilight Ring or something like that. It comes with magical durability, so you have a +2 bonus saving throw against spells, which is really nice, and you can't land critical hits on the wearer. Another good bonus to have. The last thing is Immolating Gaze, which basically lets you cast 2 Scorching Rays, basically. It allows you sear and frighten a target with nothing but your gaze. And you do an additional 2d8 fire damage against burning creatures, and it will frighten them for 3 turns, and this is once per short rest. It also comes with 666 gold because why not? You know, why wouldn't it at this case? But what this allows you to do is swap out the ring on Shadowheart for something else. Now, the Helldusk helmet is clothing. It is not even armor. So we would be swapping out for the Holy Lance helm. And that is anybody who misses her is going to take radiant damage, which again procs our radiating orb and shockwave and reverberation stuff. However, opening up that ring slot may allow us to do other things utilizing that ring slot, so we could cause more damage with our weapon attacks. We could gain additional weapon attacks or weapon damage, and because we're fighting in darkness most of the time. So it allows you to open up that slot to be used for other things in here. And that's a good point. I need to make sure these are swapped back out. But it also allows us to possibly swap in something like the Ring of Free Action, which is incredibly useful to have. So I think I am going to swap these out on her and give her the Ring of Free Action, just to up that ability for her. I'm going to lose a few stacks of a couple of stacks of Radiating Orb if people miss, which with an 18 armor class, they hit quite a bit at this level. So I don't think I'm losing much, and I'm gaining more by putting the Ring of Free Action on. Now we're going to head around the corner. Here we have another door to an inner balcony. Again, the same thing. Down here we have another balcony. This balcony doesn't lead you anywhere. Then going around the corner, these double doors here basically lead you back into the center where we were. They're locked, so when you come in here the first time, you really only have one way to go to get out the other way. But you'll see how these kind of play out a little bit later. And then we are now at the end of the corridor. There's a gilded chest down here.
Got lost and died.
Okay, so an arrow. And I don't know why the wine goblet is here. If you click on it, it tells you that it's been poisoned. But I'm not sure of any future or other interactions with it.
Over here.
So we can talk to Hope real quick.
Hello again, little mice. The price for speaking is steep, but I must give warning. Your prize is just ahead in the archive, but you can't take it yet. And even if you could, you mustn't. Trigger the alarm, and Raphael will come swooping home on wings of malice to rip out your soul. In this house, thieves are melted like butter and spread onto toast. Shh. I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again. I can. I shall. I can. I shall. The Archivist is the key. But he's as stubborn as a king and as serious as a heart attack. Exploit his piddling weakness and make him grovel! Oh no. They hear me. Speak quickly, speak softly. You know how this goes.
Okay, so again, our charisma check is going to be the best option we have here. Ooh. We've been rolling really, really well, which scares me for later on.
You steady your mind and prepare your questions.
Sister, my sister! What have you done? Sold me for soul scraps, torment me for fun. Dearest sister Korilla is in there too, pretending to browse the collection, acting all nonchalant. She's up to something. She won't let me escape. Not never, ever, never, ever. You can't! There is no hope for hope! Not without the hammer. It can shatter all infernal chains, including those that hold me. I will endure till you find me. Hope always does. And when you do find me, we will rip out their gizzards. But first, go get the hammer. Once you do, the house will bare its teeth, and you'll only have a few minutes to get me out of my prison before Raphael arrives. And then it all comes tumbling down!
Okay, and here is the archive. Now, before I go in here, I'm going to add in Mark of the Shifter here to gain an additional 1d4 bonus to all checks.
Master is very indulgent of you, Korilla, but I will not let you bring disorder into the archive.
I'm not bringing anything, you little fusspot. I'm just here to watch the story unfold. Well, can't resist the faintest hint of a temptation, can you? I suppose that makes two of us. That little disguise Hope gave you is adorable. I can see right through it, of course. And so will Raphael. He's going to notice you nosing around his house. I hope you're ready to face a very angry devil. Poor deluded Hope. She's stubborn. Raphael loves stubborn. If she'd just agreed to serve him, he'd probably have released her a long time ago. As things stand, she's his favorite toy. We're all mad here. But Hope in hell? Why, that's the definition of insanity. Raphael offered her the world. She didn't want it. He sweetened the deal. She said no. No matter how many times he upped the ante, she just laughed in his face. He didn't like that. Eventually, he took her by force, trapped her and swore he wouldn't let her go till she gave him what he wanted. Conversion. The stubborn ass has endured more torment than any soul should be able to. Even when he took all of her skin, she held on to hope. Raphael finds that puzzling. And he loves puzzles. You being here is another puzzle. You don't seem like you want to die. You want my advice? Enjoy whatever life remains to you. When Raphael catches you, you'll never enjoy anything again.
Okay, so if you get in here quick enough, you can talk to Korilla before she disappears. And she can give you some background on what's happening with her sister. You can see that the Archivist has a quest marker on him, so let's go ahead and talk to him.
A guest? Are you a client of the Master, or a visitor from elsewhere in the Hells? I do not believe you were invited. One moment. I shall consult the visitor's schedule.
His eyes flicker back and forth as if he is reading a book. He has the schedule memorized, or it's carved into his eyelids.
Most irregular. The schedule is all but clear, and yet you are here. A fine pair of gauntlets that allow the wearer to twist the head from even the most resilient malingerer. An amulet that causes the blood to surge and the heart to swell, along with other parts. Most invigorating. And awaiting installation, we have secured a rod that gathers the weave around it in great quantities, just as surely as shit gathers flies. And of course, the Orphic hammer itself is the prize of the collection. Be my guest. Even if you're not scheduled for an appointment, this is a civilized place. As long as you don't remove any of the artifacts, nobody will remove your skin. Unless Master Raphael decides otherwise, of course. Yes, nasty little gadfly. I'd swat her if the Master wasn't so fond of tormenting her.
Okay, now we're not going to tell him that we've come for the hammer. We're just going to go ahead and leave. Now, a couple of things about the Archivist. If you attack him, you are going to raise the alarm. And in that case, again, all of the tower is going to become hostile. We don't want to do that yet. So let's kind of take stock of where we are. So here is the Orphic hammer. Now it's behind an impervious sphere, and we need to find out a way to get inside that sphere. Okay, there's a password that's needed for it. That password is held by Haarlep in the boudoir. So we're going to have to go to the boudoir eventually to get that password, and that's where we're going to go here in a little bit. But the other thing is, you can see the Archivist.
I see the Orphic hammer has caught your eye.
The Archivist is going to follow your group around as you go. So you need to keep some of your group separated if you're going to deal with these two items. So the Amulet of Greater Health is here. So first I need to
What's next, I wonder?
get Shadowheart, and we're going to take our bard and put him right down by the
No,
Archivist.
never mind.
Kind of turn him around. Shadowheart is again going to get advantage on this check.
Onward then.
Okay, and there's the perception check to find the first plate. Now we'll take her over here. There's the perception check for the second plate. These plates have the Gauntlets of Hill Giant Strength. This is what we need to acquire for Helsec as part of the deal we made to get in here. And this has the Amulet of Greater Health. Really good item, which sets your Constitution to 23, I believe. So again, another great item that we're going to want. But for now, let's bring Shadowheart back here to the Archivist.
All's well that ends. Not
We're
as
going
bad
to
as it
put
could have.
on our thievery gear.
On my way.
And now that the Archivist is going to stay here occupied with our party, we're going to disarm the plate. Now you can disarm the plates without causing any trouble. I tend to do this in turn-based mode and in hiding anyway, just to be on the safe side.
This calls for careful footwork.
And we'll just try and disarm it. The DCs on this are pretty high. Okay. So we've got Mark of the Shifter. Actually, we don't have... Do I not have any? I've got trap disarm kits. It just seemed like it was a little bugged. It wasn't allowing me to add any bonuses either. And I should be able to add guidance on top of it. So we'll go ahead and cast guidance on myself first, just in case this is a little bugged.
Don't want to draw any attention.
Okay, seems like it's a little bugged here. Oof. I need to roll well here in the... Oh, a 6 from Rapture. Huge.
At the ready.
And again, you don't want to steal anything yet. Stealing something will cause the Archivist to look around for the thief, even if you steal it without being seen. And again, that causes you to have to go through the persuasion checks and all that sort of stuff.
Just out of view.
Perfect.
Have to keep going.
Okay, and now we're going to go back and take off our thieves' gear. Let's group everybody up, and we're going to come back to this room after we have dealt with the boudoir. Okay, so let's head back out here to the very first balcony. Here's the boudoir here. Oops, not here. We need the balcony here. And you can see the various jump locations here. We'll kind of wait for everybody over here to get caught up. Okay, looks like one of our ghouls got stuck. And the ghouls, like I say, this happens. They're a little finicky.
No time to waste.
But that's not just the ghouls. It's every time that you have a bunch of followers. Yoo-hoo. Let's go. See if we can get them all in here now. Yes. So sometimes you just kind of have to babysit them a little bit.
No one stopped me yet.
Okay, I'm going to put everybody in hiding here. The ghouls can't go into hiding.
Better make my next move.
And around this corner is where I'm trying to get. Okay, now here's Haarlep. Here. And as soon as we get up here, we're going to immediately be brought into a conversation. However, I believe there is a way to delay that. Because what I would like to have happen is for me to be over here somewhere when that conversation triggers, instead of being right here. So I'm going to try this. I have not tested this, actually, but I think I have quite a few between potions and scrolls. So I'm going to take a scroll of invisibility here and see if this lets me avoid the cutscene. It might not, so it might be a waste of a scroll, but I'm not too worried about it.
What path lies before me?
Okay, so it did allow me to avoid the conversation. So now I'm going to start the conversation with Haarlep here.
A lost little mouse is running through the house. A thief in the night, greedy and here to take. Why are you here, little thief? Raphael? Ha! No. You will have a far crueler master than Raphael soon. But what inspired you to pay him a visit? Raphael all but spent himself to get that hammer. And you want to take it off him? This is very naughty. Whatever are we to do? Why don't we play a game? You win, I give you everything you desire. But you'll enjoy yourself more if you lose.
Okay, so two ways that this can play out. I normally choose violence for this simply because the checks involved normally they tend to lead you that way anyway. If you play his game, you are going to be sucked into a scene with him where you have to pass either a DC 18 wisdom check or a DC 18 performance check. We could probably pass the DC 18 performance check without much of a difficulty, being a bard. But then as you continue through it, you can get to a point where you're given a choice of either surrendering yourself completely. In that case, Haarlep will just consume your soul and it will be game over. You'll get the credit screen that will show up. Or you can pass a DC 25 Constitution check, which is really difficult to do. And at that point, you can resist, and he will tell you the password to getting the Orphic Hammer. You don't need it, though. There are other ways to get it. So we're going to go with the choosing violence option, just to avoid those nasty checks here.
There is one way to leave here alive, darling. Play with me. Pretty please. I'd hate to have to kill you.
Okay, so we're just going to start the attack off here.
You will make a pretty feast.
Okay. Now, again, chose my bard to come in here because, again, of the alert feat I have. I'm almost guaranteed to roll before him in initiative. And you can see his detection cone is now not facing toward the balcony. He's facing away, and that's going to allow me to bring my other party members up here without having to bring them into combat. I can get attacks off on him first. He's got a decent amount of hit points to work your way through. Okay. He also has a specific thing called ethereal escape. So when he's damaged, he will use his reaction to escape to the ethereal plane, and then you can't do anything. He's gone, and then he will return at the start of his next turn. And then as soon as you damage him, he'll do it again. Now, he needs a reaction to be able to do that, right? So what you want to do is with your first attack of every round, which is going to be with my bard, you want to bait him into using his reaction. So that way he cannot use his reaction to teleport to the ethereal plane. The easiest way to do that is to simply walk up in front of him, walk away, and provoke an attack of opportunity. Now, it's important to know that the debtor's garb here does not remove your armor. It just disguises it. So you don't have to remove it or anything like that. I'm still gaining all the benefits of my high armor class here. So I'm going to bait his reaction. Okay, so now once I attack, he's stuck in place. He is not going to be able to leave here, and I can damage him with all of my characters. Now his resistances, he's resistant to a lot of the elemental types. One thing he's not resistant to, though, is necrotic damage. So we're going to throw on a hex here. This is going to allow us to get that out in the world anyway. And we're going to hex his strength. And now we're going to get off a first round of attacks here. Okay, that gets us Arcane Acuity. Okay, so we hit with all three of them. So now we're going to bring everybody else into this, and we're going to start off with Shadowheart. Because I've never tried to get in here with her ghouls, and I'm anxious to know how this is gonna work out. Because the ghouls are not in hiding here. Okay, so they get immediately brought into combat. I kind of expected that. So where did they roll on initiative? Behind Haarlep, which I fully expected.
Ready. Unseen. Better tread carefully.
Okay, so we're going to throw down a bash here. Okay, that was a mistake on my part. Well, it's not too bad. I forgot that it was going to knock him back, and that was going to make his detection cone reset. Thankfully, I still have an area to get up here. into here. So
Sometimes
definitely want to make sure that my bard is the one that he focuses on.
Nice and quiet.
Now let's bring Kurz up. Okay. So I have enough of these.
Best be on my way. Let's see what you're hiding.
Okay. Now here I am going to Divine Smite. Remember, I have 3 short rests available to me that I can use. But I'd like to try and see if I can get rid of Haarlep here really, really quickly. Okay, so he rolled after Haarlep, which is fine.
Let's get this over with.
And now Gale.
Onward.
Now I think Gale, because of where the ghouls are, is probably going to have an issue getting up here. Yeah. The ghouls are taking up all of the real estate here. So Gale can't get in there on this turn.
Everything.
It's not that big a deal with this.
Can't give up. Not now.
Okay, I'm going to keep Shadowheart back. And give Haarlep a turn here.
Impish! Here!
Okay, so let's go ahead and finish Haarlep here. Okay, and now let's see if we can take out some of the Vengeful Imps that have not taken a turn yet. So he's already gone. These 2 over here have not.
Don't waste a step.
Again, I'm going to get that reaction, or that back. Oh, didn't need that. So I still don't want to use my spell slots. I'm going to save those for Raphael. I wish I knew who it was going to, but I'm not going to waste a counter spell on that. Especially when all of those take an attack roll. And again, Gale is not able to get up here because the last ghoul in line is blocking him. So again, the ghouls are a little bit more trouble than they're worth in this fight. They are going to be fairly useful in the next one, though. Or not in the next one, but the final one. So, can Gale see anybody? No. Can't. Okay, we're not going to waste any of his spells down here for this. So now, which are the two that go first? So here. And here. It would be at opposite ends. And I'll provoke that attack of opportunity. I want to give Shadowheart room to get in here.
Will protect me.
14 hit points left. It's going to have to be a high roll. Perfect. It worked. Oh, I forgot her radiant damage. The 1d8 radiant damage. So this one is next. I want to threaten him. Well, he's already threatened by the ghoul. So I think we're okay, but we'll give him disadvantage on his Eldritch Blast.
Best be on my way.
Okay, and the last one is here. I can't reach him from there. Oh, come on. They managed to not land any of them, any of their Eldritch Blasts, which is actually fairly impressive, come to think of it. Okay. So that ghoul's probably stuck in Never Never Land down there.
Can't afford to stay idle. Have to keep pushing.
I'm actually going to take Shadowheart back around this way. I don't have any other reason to keep her in here, so let's just put her back in the main corridor. And all of her ghouls with her. And now we can do some searching. And so the Vengeful Imps...
No traps, please.
None of them are going to have anything on them. There are some, miscellaneous stuff that you can look through. Haarlep, however, has two things. One is the Helldust Gloves. This is the second piece of the Helldust set. So again, a +1 bonus to spell attack rolls, a spell save DC. Your weapon attacks deal an additional 1d6 fire damage, and your unarmed attacks deal an additional 1d6 necrotic damage and can possibly inflict bleeding. It also allows you to cast Rays of Fire once per short rest, which is basically exactly what it is, Scorching Ray. Now, these are really good gloves. They are a straight upgrade And we'll look at him here in a second. And we have the key from Raphael's safe.
I've got a
Now,
long
Kurz.
road ahead.
So right now he's got the Legacy of the Masters. So he's got a +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls with weapons. That +2 is going to be incredibly useful. But prior to this, he was wearing the flawed Helldust gloves, which give you 1d4 bonuses for all of those things. The Helldust gloves give you 1d6. Still the strength saving throw +1. Then on top of that, you gain the bonus to spell attack rolls and raise of fire. So it's a straight upgrade over the flawed Helldust gloves that you get earlier on from Dammit at his forge. Okay. So now we picked up a... Oh, and I forgot about Shadowheart.
At the ready.
Let's get going.
I should have kept Shadowheart in here for a little bit. We'll try it ourselves though.
Best be on my way. That's curious.
Okay, and you find out that the painting is trapped. Okay, again, pretty high DC here. Thank you for advantage. And then you can press the button underneath. That will open up Raphael's safe. And inside here you find 5 soul coins, which are great for Karlach, and Raphael's notes. If you read Raphael's notes, you find out that the Orphic Hammer is his prized possession. The password is "Give me my heart's desire." Okay, so this is how you find out what the password is. Now if we look at our quest journal, you can see that we found a note with the password for the Orphic Hammer. We know that the Orphic Hammer is what we need to help Kithrak Voss. We're going to save Hope in the meantime. We found the gauntlets. We just need to acquire them. And all of these are updating Lae'zel's side quest. Okay. She doesn't have to be here for the side quest. She doesn't have any, or she does have a piece of additional dialogue when we acquire the Orphic Hammer, but you can repeat it just by talking to her later. And here are the restoration faucets that I was talking about. There are 2 of them. Now on balance mode, you can use these over and over and over again, like the restoration pods on the Nautiloid in the prologue, where they constantly refresh all your spell slots and everything like that. It's going to count as a long rest though, and again, I don't want it to remove anything that I currently have, so I'm not going to use them. But your other characters can use them. So for instance, if I'd have been using spell slots from Kurz there, he could come up and use it, and I could buff him back up. I'm just not going to do it with my Bard here. So as you explore the rest of this, you have some other chests that are in here.
Bet I can crack that open.
And in here is a potion of angelic slumber. So these act a little different. You gain the benefits of a long rest, but it doesn't debuff anything or anything like that. So if you really want to be utilizing your spell slots in here, there's a couple of these potions that you can find in the House of Hope here to help you get those back. Oh boy, our second nat 20. I am really afraid for the final fight now. And Scroll of Flesh to Stone. Nice. And again, there are wardrobes and stuff. Most of the wardrobes just have clothing. Some of them out in the hallway have more debtor's attire, so if you lose yours, you have a way to get it back. So now I'm going to group everybody up here, and we're going to head back. And we're going to head back into the archive. Let's head all the way back around.
Hurt me.
Am I still breathing?
The rats. The rats.
Okay, so now again, like I said, stealing either of these items, even if you're hidden when you do it, he's going to know you stole and he's going to come and question you. It's just simply not worth it to do it. You're going to anger him anyway here in a second. So, and then he's going to disappear. So we might as well go ahead and get this done, and then we can just pick those up and equip them at our leisure, so to speak. So let's go ahead and deal with the Orphic Hammer.
There it is. The Orphic Hammer, right within reach. A magical field surrounds the item, preventing you or anyone from touching it. You surmise it's controlled by a vocal component. Magic words.
Okay, we know what the password is.
The magic blinks away at your words.
Careful. Stealing the most precious item in this place is hardly going to go unnoticed.
That is very true. That's why you are getting a save here, is so that this is your point of no return, so to speak, with the House of Hope. Because as soon as you take this, there's no pressure plate to disarm or anything like that. As soon as you take it, this is one of the triggers for the alarm, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Just rang Raphael's dinner bell. This is delightful. You have what you wanted, but you cannot leave lest all hells break loose. A hopeless situation.
And then he is going to disappear. So let's go pick up these two items.
Maybe I need more pockets.
You can venture out here onto this back balcony and see exactly where we are. We are in Avernus. We are in the Hells. You can also see the House of Hope reflected with a shadow down here. So you can see that we're on a floating island in the middle of Avernus. And again, there's more stuff you can read out here and that sort of stuff. And now let's take the gauntlets. Okay, that's going to update a quest line for acquire the gauntlets for Helsik. So he's going to be unhappy, and he is. He's on his way back. We picked up the Orphic Hammer, but Raphael knows about it, so we need to leave. we need to take the Orphic Hammer to Voss, who's in the Undercity waiting for us. And again, we need to break Hope free before we leave here. So we've got a fight ready for us on our way out. You can see the disguises have dropped, and we are now ready to go. Now, one thing I want to do here, I'm going to have to manage Shadowheart a little bit during this. Because I don't want the ghouls in combat.
Perfectly hidden.
I've got a long road
During
ahead.
this. Because I can't control them. So them taking off and going and attacking somebody here is not what I want to have happen. I can do this without taking any damage.
Cursed to put my hands on
I've got
him.
good news. A bad news. A worst news. Good news. You got what you came for. Successful visit. Great success. Fantastic work. Bad news. So many things will be on fire when you step outside of this room. You included. That's okay, no, right? It's hell. You expected it to be hot. Worst news, Raphael's on his way home, and oh boy, he is spitting mad. You planned for this. I know you did. You have everything under control. It's really important that you don't panic, even when your eyes evaporate from the heat. Come to my prison, bring the hammer, break my chains, and then we exit stage any which way. Quick as a cockroach, lickety-split, if you don't mind.
Okay, now again with my Bard with alert, I'm going to step outside the door here. Because a couple of things are now going to happen. The debtors are now alarmed. They are hostile. So as soon as they see you, things are going to happen. Hope is out here, and her detection cones block up this entire area, and they suck. They bring you out of hiding, so it's just annoying, to say the least, with her projection. She will move farther down the corridor as you get close to her. So that's kind of the trigger. So we're going to start things off by dealing with the smoldering eternal debtor here. I'm going to start this off with an Eldritch Blast. And now you see what happens. When the debtors are killed, quote unquote, they transform into something else. Normally you're going to get Hellsboars and Imps and that sort of stuff of the vengeful variety that go along with them. Now, vengeful boars aren't really that difficult. However, there's a couple things to know. First, blazing hide. So when you hit them with a melee attack, you start burning, which means you're going to take fire damage over time. They also have fleeting protection. So if you hit them with radiant damage, then Raphael's going to reflect that radiant damage twice as much back to you as fire damage. And then this condition will end. So it's a one-time use type of thing. But the only way for it to trigger is to damage them with radiant damage. That means that Shadowheart can be somewhat limited in this, because if she attacks multiple people or multiple enemies with radiant damage, like with her destructive wave ability, she can take a lot of fire damage in return. So you need to be kind of careful when you're using these things. Divine Smite is the same way. So when you attack any of his minions, you need to be careful, because inflicting a Divine Smite is going to bring that damage back as fire damage. So you kind of have to manage the combat a little bit when you're going through this. Now, the Hellsboar, I don't want him to move in here, so I'm going to move up into the door.
No time to rest. We're a long way from Waterdeep.
Quite. I'm going to move Gale up here. See if Gale has a shot. So he's going to have to move up there to do it. Which I'd obviously prefer him not to do. So let's move Gale and Kurz kind of off to the side.
At least things have stayed interesting. Have to keep going.
And we'll let him come and attack my Bard with the 26 armor
No
class.
choice but to keep going.
Oh, come on. Okay. Well, let's go. Thank you. I'm just curious. He rolled a 19. Okay. All right. So now we can bring other people into this fight here.
Most excellent.
That was curious. It looked like he got hit with radiant damage. He did. Oh, because of the callous glow ring. I need to watch that. So he no longer has the fiendish protection thing on him. A way to nullify it is if you are not in combat, when you deal radiant damage to a target, they can't use it against you. It goes away, but since you're not in combat initially, it tends to kind of just disappear into thin air. So that's a way to kind of nullify it. I wasn't expecting that because I forgot about the callous glow ring. Okay, and I'm going to try and knock him back. And now again with Kurz, I'm going to move him out of the way.
Can't risk being in open.
Gale, same thing.
It shall be done. Such a long way down.
I'm going to again step out here into this hallway.
Over here!
Okay. So this is going to spawn a hell sphere. Now, the hell sphere has a horrible reaction, so you're almost always going to roll in front of it. But you can see they are immune to a lot of stuff, and they are resistant to all types of the martial damage. Okay? One thing they are not resistant to, though, is force damage, which means all of our Eldritch Blasts are going to hit for full strength. There's also the Hellish Sphere, so enemies and objects within 3 meters of the sphere at the end of their turn take 6d6 fire damage, so you don't want to be anywhere near this thing. They do have a disadvantage, though, in that they are huge. They're listed as a medium size, but they have a large hitbox. That hitbox can't fit through the small doors. So we're going to make our attacks here. Okay, full damage. And now we're going to move back into this room, and we're going to be at least 3 meters away from the door. Okay, now I do want to look at something because I forgot. Yeah, he's immune to necrotic damage, so there's no point in reapplying Hex.
I can be subtle sometimes.
Okay, so let's bring Kurz up.
On my way.
Let's bring Gale up.
It shall be done.
And this is the benefit of all of those warlock dips that I took. And you can see he's just stuck at the door.
One can't always be a gentleman. Come on, can't stay idle.
Alright, so now all we need to do is wait a couple of turns for the hellfire to evaporate, to make its way out. While we're here, though,
Which way to the nearest
I do want to take advantage of something. Actually, we don't have to do it right now. I take that back. So we'll just wait a little bit. I do want to group everybody else except my bard up.
Can't risk being in open view. Need to find a way forward.
Pointless to be in hiding till you come up and get hope to move.
Did you get distracted? By the teeth in my arteries.
Okay, she's going to move farther down the corridor, but again, her detection cone is still there. Okay, so now we got a vengeful imp here that's waiting for us.
Can't slow down.
Again, Eldritch Blast is an attack roll.
Let's get this over with.
And now I'll wait for the fire to go away, and our next one is right up here.
That's a friendly looking
And there's Hope's detection cone. That is not the detection cone from the debtor here. But Hope's detection cone is going to cause us kind of an issue with trying to get an attack on this guy.
My feet can carry me.
Think you can do it from up here on the stairs?
Breathe quiet. Move with care.
Okay, so he dashed, which is good. I don't want to get into melee attacks with him, because I don't want Burning Hide to trigger. Oh no, not this again. Okay, good, I can hit him from here. Nope, I can't, because the door. Game, you're killing me, Smalls. And I don't want to knock him back through the door again. And again, you can search all of them, but they're not going to have anything.
Moving in.
Just across the hall.
Okay,
if
now
you
as you
don't
get
mind.
into this area, you're going to have a another spawn happen. And for that, I want to separate Shadowheart and bring Kurz and Gale out here. Okay, because I'm up here, I'm going to drag back here, and I'm going to destroy this door. Where's Gale?
Let me work my magic. Forthwith.
Why weren't you following, Gale?
Very well.
Okay. And I want them, again, as far away from the door as possible.
All right. What now?
As you move up here, like I said, you're going to get another spawn. Okay, another Vengeful Imp. I'm not going to move in here to attack the Vengeful Imp. Oh, come on. Okay, let's get Hex back out. And yeah, we'll just move back here a little bit. Doesn't matter. I'm not looking to avoid getting hit, because he can fly all the way down here with me.
Try me. Breathe deep.
All right.
And move.
So now when we move up here,
I guess, I hope I'm right. My prison is just on the right.
okay, we're going to get a Hell Sphere that triggers behind us. Now for this, I'm going to dash. And I'm going to fly. Okay, and I'm trying to make it down here to this door, which I certainly can. This thing doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of movement speed, and I'm 20 meters away. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be okay here. Yeah, see, it doesn't have a whole lot of movement speed. So let's get some attacks in as we're kind of going away. And I think I can get one more here. I don't think he can make it within 3 meters of me. Yeah, he can. Okay, so we're gonna just move in here. He can't make it all the way down here,
Sight their demise.
but that's perfectly
Nothing
fine.
will stand in my way.
So we'll spend a turn here not hitting it, because I don't think I'm going to have line of sight.
The last board is set.
Not going to move out of here to do it. Oh, I do have line of sight here.
Can't even catch my breath.
And again, doorways. Now it's important to realize that there are certain doorways this doesn't work on. If you've managed to open this up by getting the invitation from the Archivist, it can roll right through this doorway. It can roll right through the doorways into the inner balconies. It's these small exterior balconies that it can't reach into. If you're gonna fight here, step into the middle of the pool. It cannot come into the water. So at that point you're safe because it can't get within 3 meters of you staying outside the pool. So that's another way of, or another location to fight from.
I speak, they burn. Blood comes easy these days.
Okay, now you just wait a little bit for the fire to go away, because you do not want to step in hellfire. It causes some serious fire damage, and it's, even if you're immune to fire damage, it will still cause fire damage.
Time to press ahead.
Okay, so let's keep moving down this corridor. This is where we spawned. This, and our next debtor is down here.
If everyone else minds their business.
Okay, so we spawned a new type of enemy here. And we managed to do it from far enough away that we were not brought into combat, which is awesome. So this is a vengeful Maragon. Now we've seen Maragons before. So they have Devil Sight. You can't fight them in darkness. They have extra attack. They also have Flames of Avernus, which means that they make a target flame feeble. And that means that you're vulnerable to fire damage. Now it has an infernal weapon which deals an additional 1d4 fire damage, which means when it hits you with its first attack, it makes you vulnerable, hits you with a second attack, and it does 2d4 additional fire damage. So you really don't want to get within range of these guys. The other thing is that they are not immune to necrotic. So we're going to throw a hex here. That's going to bring us into combat. I got a surprise round out of it. Okay, there's the surprise round. There we go. So we'll move up to Hope.
These boots have seen everything.
Not that much farther left.
Almost there. I'm
Okay,
so
we have
excited I could scream.
one debtor here. There's a bunch more debtors down here inside the center. So let's move up just as far as we need to.
Softer than a whisper. Time to press ahead.
Okay, so again, Now we'll reapply Hex. That should get us a surprise round.
Good idea, I think.
It didn't even trigger combat, which is unfortunate. So we didn't get a surprise round out of it, but it's not going to matter. Because we can outrun him without even trying.
Should mind my step.
Okay.
Better be cautious.
So, hope her detection cone is just going to be messing everything up here, so...
No time to waste. Come quickly, come now.
Okay, so I'm going to turn her away from here.
Alright. Time to skulk about.
Go ahead and go into hiding. So let's see where I have to move to get this to land. Not too bad. Let's actually move up to the edge and see if I can trigger a surprise round with this. Okay. So I did get a surprise round out of it, which is nice because there's a lot of debtors in here, and I'd like to remove their debtor disguise, so to speak, while I'm and then get them opened up so I can do further damage to them. So to do that, I'm going to do a couple of things here, and I think the first of which here is probably I'm going to drop a Hunger of Hadar on all of this. So let's get our Elder's Blasts out, and we're going to do one per. So setting off one of them caused an explosion in here that set off all the others. Right? So now let's start maneuvering back here, because we should be able to do this without much of a problem.
Need to find a way forward.
As the imps are going to be able to fly down to about here, I think. Okay, so they're up in a dash, which is good. Vengeful boars can run halfway across the map. The Maragons, not so much. Okay, so now I'm going to drop a Hunger of Hadar. Okay, and I'm just going to move right back here. I'm going to let the imps fly out of that, but I don't think anybody else can make it out of there. It could be wrong, but again, with my high armor class, I'm not even too worried about it. So, where are the detection cones? Okay, so only this guy, really. And again, that stupid door thing. Oh, and I missed once. Okay, so now let's go down here and bring hers into this fight as well. I don't think I have to be in hiding all the way down here.
Moving ahead. Better be cautious. Never wanted the easy path.
Okay. And I think I'm going to leave Gale down here for this. I'm going to leave the 2 high armor classes in this fight here. And I still have my thief gear on. Jeez. Okay, I don't want to use that. Because again, his blazing hide. What I want to do... see if we can get a couple of kills here. Perfect. I'm gonna stay out here. Okay, so I'm going to skip my turn here. Well, I guess I could use an Eldritch Blast. I've got disadvantage, but as long as you're not using a melee attack, you're good. He's got a long way to go to get here, and he's never going to get out of the hunger. I'll just give you a clue right now. He's never going to get out of it. I can keep repelling blasting him.
I won't give in. Can't slow down. What now?
Done.
All right. So now we'll bring Shadowheart all the way in from where she was in the Archivist room. There's nobody left now.
What might you be hiding?
We'll pick up Gale on the way. we're going to make our way down into Hope's prison. But before we do that,
let's move.
My faith protects me.
we're going to have some conversations. Because Shadowheart can fly right now. So, if we look, she's taken the astral tadpole. Okay.
Let's get going.
Kurz does not want to use them. I don't know if we can make Kurz use them or not.
Salutations.
Gale, we have not convinced him to do it either.
These things have stayed interesting.
This thing becomes a lot easier if you can fly. And that means we need to convince them to try and take the tadpole.
This vessel is at thy disposal.
Yeah, you can't make your hirelings use it. So, but let's talk to Gale. And I do have my ring on because we're going to have to make a persuasion check.
The hammer we claimed is of incredible arcane craftsmanship. No wonder it was so fiercely protected. In the wrong hands, who knows what it might shatter.
Okay, so I'm going to go through this now with Gale.
I can only imagine what I could do were I to adopt the biology of a mind flayer. It certainly doesn't seem to have done you any harm. Or rather, you've not yet done me any harm. Still, there are undoubtedly risks to such a transformation.
Okay, and here's our persuasion check. If we're going to do it now while we have all of these bonuses. Because the DCs on these are kind of high. I can only fail it with a double nat 1. So this would be the time for me to get it, right? A 41. Now that's a roll right there. That's the roll that we hope to get against Yurgir when we go up against him.
If this is what the fates have offered to aid our cause, then who am I to refuse? I'll take your tadpole. Let's see what it has to offer.
Life pulses from within. The parasite's thoughts whisper at the edge of your mind. It wants to share itself with you. It wants to be let in.
Go on. Don't be afraid. It only wants to help you evolve.
Okay, now don't eat the tadpole. That's a one-time use. Always just open your mind to it.
A coldness seeps through your veins as the tadpole awakens. Its yearning almost unbearable. Your mind is a veritable feast. The tadpole's essence courses through you. Where it touches, your flesh, glands, organs contract and flood with pure thought. You feel different. Your body has never felt more connected. Your mind present in every flex of a joint or muscle.
Perhaps, once the others see what you can do, they will consider trying it for themselves.
Okay, and now let's go through and use up some of these tadpoles because we need to get our abilities up. So first, favorable beginnings for Gale. It's a must-have. Or Luck of the Far Realms, I'm sorry, for Gale. A must-have. Everybody else already has Luck of the Far Realms that can use it. Now for myself, we're going to start buffing myself up here. We're going to get down to Cold a Week. Okay, Psionic Backlash. Definitely Shield of Thralls. Okay, we already have expertise in persuasion, but we don't have it in deception and intimidation. And charm.
Whatever comes, I'm ready.
Okay, we're going to add in charm here and Shield of Thralls.
Yours ripe with magic.
Can't give up now.
Okay, and then for me, I'm gonna make my way out here. To Black Hole. Okay, now there are certainly other useful things here. Mind Sanctuary is very nice. So you can, for 3 turns, they can take actions and bonus actions interchangeably, which is basically haste. For people with multiple bonus actions, it allows you to have multiple attacks using your bonus actions, which is very, very nice. Free cast is the same thing as Arcane Battery, which again is very nice, and I will add that in.
One with the weave.
Both.
Still breathing.
Okay. So for now, I have some thoughts on these others, so I'm not going to spend the rest of them yet. But that gets me fly on everybody except for Kurz. So now Shield of Thralls is short rest. So I need to take a short rest here before I go into this.
I'll feel that one later.
And we're gonna use Shield of Thralls. Okay, that gives you 10 temporary hit points, and then when those are removed, the shield bursts and it possibly stuns any foes that are around you. I'm gonna try and use this to good effect with Black Hole as well. We will kind of see how it plays out.
Let's get on with it.
But there's no reason not to have these. Is basically it. No reason not to have it up.
Is that blood? No, never mind. How much farther can I go?
Okay, so now in here, I'm gonna go in, and remember, my ghouls cannot be in hiding. So I think I still have my thieves gear on. I do. Okay, the prison hatchway you don't need to unlock now. I'm gonna go into hiding. Oh, I'm gonna move out of the way. Then go into hiding and go into the prison. Okay. Now we're inside Hope's prison, and there's a button over here.
Should mind my step. Jailer will swallow you whole if you take another step. And you won't be able to save me while you're being digested! You found my prison. My body is held in chains just beyond. The whole house is tumbling down and Raphael striding across the plains to come catch a mouse. And I swing that big, beautiful hammer, crack open my chains, and let's get out of here. It's time to fly this coop on a hope and a prayer. You sound so brave, but we really don't have a choice.
Okay, so let's go up here and activate the button. We'll take a look inside. Here's Hope. You see, we have some vengeful imps. We have a spectator. We have 2 spectators. Okay. So we kind of want to try and play this a little interestingly, in that I want to try and get into combat with the spectator. To do that, the easier way to go would be for me to go this way, where I don't have 2 imps, I've only got 1. But I would actually prefer to be over here. So let me see if... I'm going to watch these detection cones for a second.
Okay, I think they're both going to turn around. Here's the second imp coming back. See him back there. That's a weird path to take. So I didn't make it, got turned around there. So let's go up and get next to the spectator. And we're gonna bring out Hex. And now, yeah, they're not close enough for me to reach twice. Let's try and paralyze him if we can. Outstanding. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of maneuver myself around here behind. Okay. Now everybody else, I can start to bring them in.
Don't want to draw any attention. Just out of view.
I'm not going to bring them into combat just this second.
Don't waste a step. You've got the wrong man for this. My pleasure.
And I'm not going to bring Shadowheart in yet. So my goal here now is to drag this spectator down over here. Along with all the imps, of course. Okay, I don't need to charm him. Okay. So now the detection cone should be pretty cleared up down here by the entrance. And I can start getting my other characters into the fight here. I wish... It must be this spectator's detection cone that's causing that. Oh no, it's this imp down here. Okay. Yeah, he didn't fly over. He just stuck himself down at the end of the platform. So that's his detection cone over here, covering up the spectator. Because I would like to get Kurz in here to attack the spectator. But I don't think I can do that. Let's move out here.
Don't waste a step.
I should have flown. I shouldn't have moved. See if I can get rid of him. Okay. Now he's uncovered.
What to do? Should mind my step.
Because hope right now in this condition doesn't remove your hiding. Curs can't fly, which puts him at a disadvantage here. These separate little platforms is what makes the ability to fly so important here. Okay, and I'm going to get Curs right up next to the spectator. We're going to start a fight.
That way.
Now Gale can fly, so it's easier for him to maneuver around out here. Shadowheart I'll bring in. Again, with the platforms, her ghouls are going to be less useful.
Onward.
But they might be able to soak up some damage or some attacks. So she can fly. Okay, and again, we're going after the spectator here. And for this, I'm trying not to use a lot of my action economy here. Let's just get Radiating Orb on everybody.
Down with you.
And it missed. Perfect. Okay, so let's reapply Hex with our bonus action. Oh, I've already got it. Who's it on? Oh, the spectator right here. Yep, that's right. Landed a crit. Okay, we'll take the opportunity attack. Alright. So where are we? 23. Okay.
Fall, damn you.
Oh. 3 hit points left. Okay. We can deal with that. So, I'm threatened? Yes. Oh, and the one I needed to hit. Trying to work out how I want to do this. Okay, I think I'm just going to stay here. I think I'm just going to move in next to these two. Okay, I'll take the opportunity attack. Okay, so I really don't want to waste a main hand attack with him. So let's see if I can get within range here. Not gonna smite. That's gonna open up my polearm clout. Now I can use my main hand attack. Get rid of him. We're not gonna have a whole lot of choice here.
I think you can take me on.
Okay.
Have to keep going.
I don't have my jump. I don't have a bonus action to be able to get over here. So just going to cause some damage. A nice hit.
Blood comes easy these days.
I can kill the spectator on this turn. We'll take a couple of attacks of opportunity here. Or just one, it looks like. Big hit. I'm just hitting huge. Oh, Cull the Weak is kicking in. Now you can see how Cull the Weak works. So, Cull the Weak, basically what it does, well, I might be able to explain it here. Yeah, I can't explain it, but basically what it does is whenever the target is reduced below in hit points, below the number of tadpole powers that I've trained, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, it automatically kills the target. So with this guy, I just need to do 8 points of damage, and he will be dead. Yeah, I did 20, or I did 17, he had 22 hit points. It wasn't enough to kill him, but Cull the Weak kicked in. and killed it because he dropped below that number of hit points. Call the Weak is an amazing skill for if you are planning to train a bunch of tadpole powers. So the Spectator, you can search here for the Burnished Ring. This gives you Paralyzing Ray. So this has kind of been missing from our repertoire of stuff that the Spectators could do. We had Wounding Ray previously, but this now gives us access to... And did I not loot? Oh, I didn't loot it. So now I can use Paralyzing Ray. So it paralyzes this target for 2 turns. You can use it once per long rest, and it has a Constitution save. So you kind of have to use it against people who don't have a high bonus to Constitution or high saving throws against it. So against your boss enemies, it makes it a lot less likely to land. We used our Ghoulish Touch, which comes from the Ring of Exalted Marrow. So that is our Paralyze that we've given out. So now that the Ring of Exalted Marrow is done, I might as well throw this on to give me some more options with it, to be able to possibly paralyze a target. So a couple of things to do here. Right now I'm using an Elixir of Cloud Giant Strength. That's going to go away here in a second as we get into this big fight. But first, let me put on the Orphic Hammer. And we will free Hope. I want to make sure everybody is well and truly away from Hope.
I must keep going.
Still breathing.
When I do
despite
this.
everything.
I'm going to get everybody else out of here.
These boots have seen everything.
Gale being able to fly makes it so easy to get out.
My pleasure.
I have a lot on my mind. And, well, in it.
Free! I never thought I would be believed. I could be hoped I might be. Heads will roll! But we must dress the Hierophant in the room.
I can see how you avoid looking at me.
I must be so terribly mutilated after all these decades of torture.
Don't hold back. Tell me how bad it is.
I'd blush if they had left me any skin to redden, and I would kiss you if they had not torn off my legs.
You truly are the kindest fool I've ever met.
We'll carve our way to the entrance hall and chop Raphael into messes. That's the hopeful version, of course. The likely version is that we are the messes and he is the chopper. Onwards!
Okay, so now Hope becomes an attached party member. Now Hope we can control. Okay. Hope is a cleric. She is a high level cleric. She's level 10, and that gives her access to Divine Intervention. So Divine Intervention, you have a bunch of camp supplies, which is going to be useless. You have Sunder the Heretical, which does 8d10 radiant damage to everybody in a huge radius. You have Opulent Revival, where you resurrect all fallen companions with half their hit points and restore all nearby allies as if they had taken a long rest. That is huge in this fight. And then you have the divine intervention, arm thy servant. We've already done that. That's how Shadowheart has her weapon. The devotee's mace. Okay. So we have access to a very powerful cleric here, which is going to aid us quite a bit during this fight. So I don't think the other spectator has anything. It's just that one. Oh, some gold.
One day I'll catch a break.
Okay, so we're going to group everybody up, head up the ladder. And we're going to go a little long today because I know y'all want to see the fight with Raphael. And that's exactly where we are headed. Okay, so the foyer's here.
There are 3 things you need to know about Raphael. He's almost home now, closer than a kiss.
Okay,
His
so
favorite color is blood.
we're going to drop a quick save here. We're going to get another save when we get in there. But inside the foyer, there's nothing. Nothing's going to happen until you click on the portal. And that's important. Okay. I'm going to break my group.
I'm ready.
I'm going to bring Shadowheart over here with all of the ghouls. Okay, and I'm going to separate them. I'm going to bring Shadowheart, and I'm going to put her back here behind this pillar. Put her into hiding.
All right, what now?
And do the same thing with Kurz.
Should mind my step. Breathe quiet. Move with care.
The same thing with Gabe.
Yes, yes.
Now I'm going to go into this with my bard. Okay. And I need to kind of... Oh, there's some other preparations I need to do. I almost forgot about gear. So, 2 things. The Gauntlet of Hill Giant Strength. The +2 is going to be extraordinarily useful for Kurz. So that is something that I would like to leave there for this. That means the Wondrous Gloves, I'm gaining an armor class increase of +1. I'm going to actually take those off. And I'm going to put on the Gauntlets of Hill Giant Strength in their place. Those aren't really Hill Giant. Your strength is 23, not 21. I think these are Frost Giant, is what 23 strength is. So, don't know if it's just mislabeled or the strength increase is wrong. But then the other thing is the Amulet of Greater Health. And right now, we have advantage on these saving throws. I'm going to swap that out onto Curse. Okay, and now for... You can see he's up to 155 hit points now. That was the wrong person. I just wasted that.
Don't mind me.
Nice job, Jorval.
Cloak and dagger, my favorite.
Get everybody buffed back up. Okay, we're going to take our short rest.
Keeping my head down.
Because we definitely need to get our action economy back.
That helped.
And I should have done that before I used the healing potions.
What's next, I wonder?
Okay, and then Shield of Thralls. Let's renew all of the Shield of Thralls. So Gale still has his. I'm going to renew mine. Get back up to 10. Okay, and now we are ready. Now, again, we are going to try and convince Yurgir to join us. Shadowheart is not going to be in the party when we do this, so we're not going to be able to benefit from her her guidance. So I'm going to cast guidance on myself here. Before I go into this, I don't care that it's going to break Hex. Most people are going to be immune to necrotic damage in her anyway. Going to immediately reapply Surgeon Subjugation, and I'm going to go click on the portal and start this off.
Time slows for a moment, and the air becomes thicker. The master of the house is coming.
You. There are many things in your world that I loathe. Litters of kittens, chattering children, the noise and the chaos of it all. In my world, in my house, there is order and there is decorum. You came here uninvited and you stole from me. In doing so, you brought the chaos of your world into mine. I will not abide it.
Sister, oh sister, I've wept and I've cried, but all would be well if you were by my side.
Oh, Hope, you are such a piteous thing. All it takes is a crumb from the table and you forget the centuries of starvation. This insolence has earned you centuries more. Korilla, tell our unwelcome guest about your role in their tragic downfall.
I permitted you the freedom to decide your own fate. You could have been smart, selfless, saved the world. Instead, you came here and risked everything.
It's the fatal flaw of mortal kind. Take away their free will and they call you a tyrant. Allow them to indulge it and they become tyrants. You would have been heroes if you'd only dealt fairly with me. Instead, you're not so different to doomed Karsus, overreaching your limits and burning your world to ash.
Wrong, wrong, wrong! They will save their world and smash you to smithereens.
It's this charming naivety that makes your company such a joy to me, Hope. I'll even forgive this little rebellion once you're suitably chastised.
This isn't a rebellion. It's a revolt. I'm revolting!
Then Hope dies today. Commander, you can salvage a trophy from these insects when I'm done with them.
These insects struck me down beneath the Shadowlands. They are worthy opponents. Their skulls will make fine trophies.
Okay, and here's the persuasion check that we've been kind of prepping for here. This is a DC 30 persuasion check. Now we are 17 to 28. We can add in a bonus, but either one of those is going to break concentration on guidance here. So I think I'm going to rely on guidance more than I am the... Oh, ugh. I really shouldn't. I should give up guidance. That would be 16 to 24. I should really take the advantage instead. I forgot about that. So yeah, we'll use Eagle Splendor to take advantage on this check. We'll lose guidance, so it'll be 16 to 24, but we've got advantage. Big roll, big roll. Nice. I got a 6 out of Rapture.
To stand against a devil in his own home. That takes courage. I'm with you.
How tiresome. Am I to understand that you wish to die with them?
I wish to fight with them.
It's all the same in the end. If you have any last words, make it quick. It will only take a moment to finish you. Hope. It always burns you in the end, little mouse. Now, down comes the claw.
Okay, so I rolled pretty well here, all things considered. Hope is almost always going to roll last. It's just the way of the world with Hope. Nobody else is in combat, though. The detection cones do not overlap this area behind the pillar. Right? So there are a few things that I want to do. The Cambions cast Scorching Ray, and they cast it all the darn time. So the way to prevent that is to make it so that you're not able to be targeted. You're not able to be targeted by Scorching Ray inside of darkness. So we are going to fight inside of darkness as much as we can. Raphael has dark vision, or has devil sight. He can see in the darkness. Nobody else here has it. Okay? So there is something else that we want to do here. And yes, Solo, the music is really cool during this fight. You can go listen to it on your own. There's a whole bunch of videos that have it out there. It's really cool to listen to. The other thing we want to do is deal with Korilla. Okay? Now, I didn't think about that, honestly, and I should have put these smoke powder barrels behind the pillars. But for now, I'm not going to worry about them. I'm going to destroy this one, but I'm not going to destroy the others yet. I don't want to take out my ghouls or hurt Yurgir. I certainly don't want to hurt myself here. So, what I'm going to do first... Oh, and to explain the mechanics of this. Raphael has soul pillar proximity, so he's surrounded by 4 soul pillars, which means he gets an additional 4d12 fire damage and has a plus 12 bonus to his dexterity checks and saving throws. You can see he's got a plus 12 to his dexterity, which makes his armor class incredibly high, which makes him really hard to hit. Okay, now he does Soul Reaper, so when Raphael reduces an enemy's hit points to 0, he severs the soul from their body. He can pull that soul in and he can use it to cast a massive spell. Okay, and that's part of what we're trying to kind of prevent here as we go. Opportunity attack, all that sort of stuff. He has Infernal Retribution, so whenever he succeeds on a saving throw, whoever cast it gets burning. And he has Fiendish Blessing, so all of his Cambions have a +2 bonus to their armor class while he's still alive. So, again, the Fleeting Protection is on all the Cambions, so if you hit them with radiant damage, you're going to get a bunch of fire damage in return. So you're really here trying to minimize the Cambions and focus Raphael as much as you can here. And to do that, there's also something else I want to try and do during this fight. I want to try and knock out Korilla, if I can. I know I can. She has a low amount of hit points here. So I'm just going to move over here. I'm going to turn on non-lethal attacks. And I'm going to knock her out. Okay. Now I'm going to fly back here. Kind of in this area. And I'm going to cast Darkness. I'm going to haste here. That's going to get rid of my... or it's not. It'll keep the Elixir of Cloud Giant Strength, but I'm going to haste. I'm going to cast Darkness, and I'm going to cast it so I can get the detection cones overlapped over here. Okay. So did I mess that up? I might have messed that up. I might have messed up the placement because these detection cones are still here. If I go that way, I'm going to go through the detection cones, and I'd prefer not to.
I'm ready.
Turn off non-lethal attacks.
Have to keep low.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, I must have messed up a placement, or that darkness is a little bugged.
Surprised you spotted me. Of course.
Let's see if we can refresh that. Okay. That worked out better. Because now Hope's in the darkness as well. Okay, so we'll go ahead and end my turn here. Okay. So, that was interesting AI. I didn't expect that, to be honest. But that was well played by them to hit the smoke powder barrels and knock me out of darkness. So I'm not going to counterspell any of these because they're going after my bard. Okay, so Shadowheart, I definitely want to get back into the darkness here. This is going to provoke an attack of opportunity, but I'm not too worried about that. Okay, before we go in there, though, I'm going to just hopefully try. How much did 2 do? Yeah, see, I left it with 17 hit points. So, like I say, the force damage, they're vulnerable to it, but it's not normally enough to kill both. Or with just 2 barrels here.
Be done.
Okay, that one managed to get. I managed to get lucky with it. Hope is still inside there, so I think that's okay. Gale's out here. Raphael is next. I think Gale will be all right without it, though. Let's get... a healing word out to help get some hit points back for my paladin, and we'll get into the darkness.
Got to move.
Okay, so Igniting Spark on Gale is 6d6 fire damage. It's a level 4 evocation spell. So we're going to counterspell that. Why didn't counterspell work? That's fine. The Cambions took more damage out of that than my ghouls did. So, where's... Okay, let's get a... Now we'll get Gale into the darkness as well.
Of course.
Yurgir's about to damage me. Why? Okay. So, Hope, we can move back. She's blinded, but we can move her back into the darkness and not trigger an attack of opportunity. Now, a lot of her attacks are going to do radiant damage, and again, we don't want to do that. So Instead, we're going to focus on using her healing abilities to keep us going. Right? So, mass healing word. I think I'd prefer to buff Gale up a little bit more. Let's do Cure Wounds, and we'll up that to level 2 on Gale.
Take you.
Okay, get him back up. Then we'll again, we can throw out a healing word at level 1. Actually, that won't get Kurz there. Okay, so we'll wait. Well, Kurz is next
Time
here.
to push my luck again.
Okay, now if we go after the Cambion again, remember, we cannot use Divine Smite here. But that's fine. And we're going to move back in the darkness a little bit so that he can't attack us with his trident inside there. I'm going to save my action surge for Raphael. So Raphael's got 2 of his soul pillars down now, and you can see his armor class is now down to 24 because he's only got 2 soul pillars. And this one's got 17. I would prefer not to do that, but yeah, let's do it. Let's use 2 there and 1 here. Alright, so for our second action, we're going to try Paralyzing Ray on Raphael. It's got a low chance of hitting because his constitution is getting +7 to saving throws. So it's got a low chance that it's going to hit here. But we'll try it anyway. I love my life, chat. I love my life. Okay, so this darkness is mine, so I want to keep it up. Now everybody's in darkness except for the ghouls. Okay, so Shadowheart can now start working on Raphael a little bit. So this is going to make him skip his turn. He's not going to be paralyzed for 2 turns. Inevitable Resolve means that he's going to skip out of this in 1 turn, but he's still going to skip his turn out of this. So and his resistances. Okay, so he's not resistant to radiant damage.
No mercy.
Okay. So that will guarantee the crit because of it. they're just going to walk around in circles and do a whole lot of nothing. Because they just can't reach me in here. So let's pop out, start doing damage against Raphael if we can here. And we've got a few ways to do that. Okay, so Raphael's resistant to cold, which is what we have, but he's not resistant to necrotic damage. Okay, now there's a Constitution save. So actually, I think I'm going to go with the strategy, the Artistry of War here. I need to remove the Callous Glow Ring. No, he's illuminated. Ah, crap. He's gonna deal... Well, it's just 2 points. So we're gonna throw the Artistry of War at him. Okay, 6 projectiles. Now Kurz.
All that matters.
So let's get Kurz out here and see if we can drop some hits on Raphael. His armor class is now down to 22. Still hard to hit.
Very well.
Okay. But I've got advantage on this first one because of Guiding Bolt. So let's use our bonus action here to gain advantage on attack rolls against Celestials, Fiends, and Undead. He's a Fiend, so we're going to guarantee advantage on these. Okay, we'll take the attack of opportunity and move back into the darkness. So that's what a paladin can do. So again, we're just going to throw heals. And I don't know if we can bless inside of here. We can't because she's blind. Okay. So for my bard here, a couple of things to look at. Again, he's not immune to necrotic damage, but we're the ones that are holding darkness. So I don't want to lose my concentration here. Raphael's got his reaction back because of the turn change. So let's pop out here and try and start using some of my bardic inspirations on him. Because this is our last turn with haste. Okay, so we're going to throw a defensive flourish. I'm going to throw a crit. Alright. So I have an idea what I would like. to do with that second action. Let's just keep going. Yeah, I think we just keep going here. So... why am I still attacking with Orphic Hammer? I forgot to take it off. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. So... it's got Unshackling Strike, right? No, that doesn't really... that doesn't really matter. Did my armor class go up? Yes, it's 31. So I want to be able to, I want to make sure that I move away at the end of this. He's down to 199. Oh, his reaction didn't come back. So let's move back and use a Slashing Flourish ranged. Like I say, the Cambions are useless. They're just going to sit around outside the darkness and not do anything. Which is exactly what I want to have happen. Now I can use the Dance Macabre again now. Now here's his final form. Okay, so there's nothing I can do about this. So once you've killed the soul pillars, he's going to ascend. And the dead soul pillars, he's going to absorb their souls, and now he can cast these massive spells. And one of them is Raging Inferno. So this is a level 6 evocation spell. Okay. He's able to target this inside of darkness. I don't entirely know why he can do that. But he can. So it's going to come in and it's going to hurt. At 20d6. Now a dex save cuts it in half. Now the only way for me to counterspell this is if I had level 6, which I don't. So it doesn't make any sense to waste a counterspell on it. It's also going to leave Hellfire behind, which means I'm not going to be able to stay in this location when that is done. I'm going to need to reposition myself and do it. Now he used 2 souls to do this, and he only had 3 souls absorbed, so that means that he's not able to cast this again, which is obviously nice. But yeah, I wish it takes, like I say, it's a weird spell in how it works. I get hit with it every time. There's not a whole lot I can do. Okay.
Please, help.
So I didn't expect that. So I have one hope here. Literally. But hope might die right here at the start of her turn. She did. Okay. So I have a way out of this. Ooh, that's a good point. I can't resurrect hope. Okay. So, yeah, I hate that spell.
To cure. I cannot die. Please help me.
I can't bring her back up, though. Because if I do, she's just going to die to the Hellfire again. Okay, I'm trying to plan out how I'm going to work this now. Okay, let's provoke the attack of opportunity here.
These boots have seen everything.
Okay. Okay.
Doomed. Detected. And
Shadowheart's gonna die at the start of her turn. Oh, she's already downed. Okay, this is gonna be bad. Oh, jeez. Thank you for causing a massive amount of damage to me. So he's at 39 hit points. I'm at 3. So I think this is going to be a wipe. I wasn't expecting the 2 casts of that stupid spell. Because, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do enough damage to him in there. Because this is Hellfire. And Hellfire... it ignores resistance and immunity to fire damage. So I can't walk in there to get attacks on him to kill him. I can't do it. So I'm thinking here. So I've only got a 45% chance to hit now. And I can't bring my bard back up again. Okay, come on, think here. There's a dex save, but his dex is huge. It's 19. Yeah. So he's only getting a +4 to the save. Saved. Let's try it. Well, if I do it again, I can't attack. That was my one hope, I think. Because he's just gonna beat me up. And Hellfire is just going to kill her if I knock her down again. Yeah, see. She's gonna take 6 to 36 damage. I wonder if I can reposition my own characters. It looks like I can. Yeah, because I think that was my one hope, is that I'd be able to reposition him. And that failed. So I'm not going to be able to do enough damage here on this turn to make this work. See if I can move far enough away that they all go after Yurgir. I doubt that's going to work.
Breathe deep and move.
Too much to bear.
Okay. Well.
Detected and
Gonna provoke an attack of opportunity, because I don't have any other choice, I don't think.
Another step forward.
Oh, yep. That's game over. All right. Well, there it was. So our first party wipe on this. So, well, I guess you will get to see a rematch of this next week. So, what happened there was as he walked, the hellfire triggered. It knocked him down. His half-orc resistance brought him back up to 1 hit point, but it ended his turn. And because he started his turn burning from hellfire again, it took him out. So the real problems there were the 2 casts of Ravaging Inferno. That was the problem, and he also rolled extremely high to be able to kill a 99 or an 87 point and a 78 point character. So he rolled really, really high on those. And then killing Hope, I wasn't able to use her ability to bring everybody back to life, and Shadowheart was already dead, so I couldn't use hers either. So just got a little bit unlucky there through that. But then down there at the end, what I should have probably done is, instead of walked through there, I should have jumped using my bonus action first. I didn't see it until it was too late. There was a little sliver of red, and I should have jumped out of it instead of walked through it. That way I could have gotten enough damage to kill him, and then maybe drank a potion of invisibility or something, and gotten out of the way, and let Yurgir take out the Cambion. So, a couple of things I could have done different there, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. So we will start this over next week, and we will come back right here with a rematch. So, as always, thank you all for being here. As always, your support means the world, because without your support, none of this would be possible. This is Commander Jorval saying, until next time, hopefully not as disappointing,